Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. It's Jay from Mitoso Crafts and we're an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrators based in the UK. Today's project, I'll be sharing with you some basic sponging technique using the Eastern Beauty stamps and the Eastern Medallion Thinlits dies, which are available now from our online shop with the Eastern Palace Suite. There are two promotions running currently until 31st of May. You can check out more information from our blog, mitosustampin.blogspot.co.uk, but I'll be putting the link in the description below. So I started with the Whisper White card layer, measuring 9.5 by 13.8 centimeters. I've gone ahead and stuck that to the grid paper, using the grids as a guide to make sure that it's straight. The two copy paper on each sides are stuck down with removable tape, or you can use washi tape as well. The colors that I've used for this card are Melon Mambo, Pool Party, and Wild Wasabi, which are colors from the recent challenge from Cast Colors and Sketches blog. So back on to some basic sponging. Use your stamping sponges and dab a couple of times, ink it up with your ink pad, and always dab off onto a copy paper or grid paper just to get rid of some excess ink on the sponges. This way you can make sure that you don't get harsh lines straight away onto your project. So always start off the page, so from the edge into your project, and use a circular motion just to make sure that it's blended smoothly and nicely. Wherever you want the darker color from, always start from there, so it builds up the ink and it gradually makes the color darker in that area. You can also apply a bit more pressure on these areas just to help the process along, but usually it's better to slowly work the ink around your card, just to ensure that your sponge background is nice and smooth. You can practice on a bit of copy paper or offcuts of Whisper White just to get used to the amount of pressure and amount of ink that you need to apply onto your card for the look that you want. The Stampin' Up! Sponge that I used comes from one sponge. I cut it up in eighths, which I find is a bit too small and make my fingers a bit more inkier than usual. And it comes in a pack of three, so they are cheap enough to get one for each of your Stampin' Up! Ink pads. If you cut them up into fours, you'll need about 4 packs, or if you cut them up into sixes, you'll only need 3 packs. So, but if you don't have them yet, why not try it and see how you get on with sponging your backgrounds with them. I used wild wasabi for the other end of the card. You can see me dab my stamping sponge onto different areas of the ink pad to pick up more ink, as sometimes going over the same area doesn't allow you to do this. Check your progress with the background by lifting the mask, keeping the removable tape intact, and once you're happy with the background, completely remove your mask and removable tapes. So now we're just going to decorate this sponge background using the Eastern Medallion Thinlits dies and the Eastern Beauty stamp set. I run the largest flower medallion through the big shot on Whisper White, and I also embossed the circular die. As you can see, I've marked this die just to make sure that it lines up with the die cut and it's right in the center. So to dry emboss this, you need the silicone matte sandwich through your bake shot, and this just gives me a nice texture for the topper instead of the holes in the middle of the design. I'm just now using the paper snips to cut out the rest of the topper, because this is a stay and die. It does leave it intact to your cardstock, so you can make a completely different look with this die. Next up is some stamping. I've used the basic black archival ink pad to stamp the thank you sentiment in the middle of the medallion. Use your grid paper to make sure that you are lining it up nice and straight and right in the middle. Being a photopolymer stamp, it is easier to line up your sentiments and images in the middle of the die cut. But I am using a copy paper again against my grid paper just to make sure that the next decoration that I am stamping will be straight. I'm using Pool Party this time, and I am just gonna be stamping a couple of designs on the left and on the right. It does look like my ink pad is running out. It is the best time to buy your inkers, which I will be doing before the launch of the new catalog in June. So as you can see, I am just doing some more stamping with the diamond design, and this time it is with the basic black archival ink again. Eastern Beauty is such a great stamp set because it comes with 21 different designs, 7 of which are sentiments, but the rest are designs that you can use on their own or work together and create your own patterns so you can spend hours just creating different looks for your projects. My border design for this card is quite basic, but you can just imagine how much different looks you can get from 14 other stamps. Just make your own different designs for different occasions and projects. So going back onto the topper, I've used the Wild Wasabi Stampin' Right marker just to highlight the designs on the embossed um, bits on the paper, and then Pool Party for the inner circular as well. So this way I'm just mirroring the colors I've already used within the card, which frames the sentiments nicely as well. So to finish off the card, I'm just mounting it on a black mat measuring 10 by 14.3 centimeters and mounting that on an A6 10th fold card. Finally, stick the topper in the middle using dimensionals, and there we have it, a sponge background with the Eastern Medallion Thinlits dies and the Eastern Beauty stamp set. I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial, and thank you for stopping by again. Until next time, bye!